Today's episode is inspired from my Self-Care Society class titled Wrapping Up Winter. This episode is about feeling complete with the season of winter as we wrap up and move into fresh beginnings. But really, if you're listening or watching, I think we get a chance for a fresh beginning at any point. So do not fret if the seasons are not aligned with when we originally taught this class. It still will be really powerful for you. Okay. So we're going to start with a quote, as we always do, from the works of Anne Bradstreet. And she says, "If we had no winter, the spring would not be so pleasant. If we did not sometimes taste of adversity, prosperity would not be so welcome." So how does the dictionary define the word complete? Well, to finish making or doing, or to make something whole or perfect. And here's what I'll tell you. We're not trying to make ourselves perfect or even whole or even complete. But I think there's a lot that we can do along the process to feel complete within the evolution and the growth and all we desire. Okay, so we'll definitely be leaning into that today. Now, before we start, we're always going to do our pause and practice. And this is because embodying a feeling in your nervous system is the perfect opportunity for your body to actually understand what it feels like to feel complete and to understand for you to understand what it feels like in your own body. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes if that's available to you. And I want you to just kind of try this on. And I always say you can pretend you're an actor or an actress, and is your goal to be this character that just feels so complete, right? This character that just, walks in the world just feeling like whole and, all that good stuff. Okay. So I want you to really feel that in your body and just notice. Okay. For me, it's like, wow, it's just a sense of confidence. It's a sense of living fully within my physical body. Okay. It's standing tall. It's feeling proud. It's not an arrogance. It's just an ease of being, right? So what do you experience? Pay attention to that. Where do you feel this in your body? And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And I want you to do anything that you can to carry this vibration with you for the rest of this episode and maybe even beyond, if you can. Okay? I believe in you. So, for me, like this completeness, man, are we ever truly complete? I don't think so, honestly. But I do think we can absolutely find a feeling of completeness while continuing to navigate our own journey of expansion and evolution. I certainly started feeling more complete personally as I strengthened my own self-love and self-confidence. Over time, I found that a feeling of enoughness also contributes to a feeling of being complete and at peace for me. Now, nowadays, as I navigate life with this foundation of my own deservingness and worth, I really get to look for completeness in, I feel, other ways. So I would say in my life, right now, that I feel most complete when I'm home in my familiar space. I feel complete when I'm going slow and when I take good care of myself. I feel complete when I'm not overly stressed about finances or overly scheduled with to-dos. I tend to feel complete when I'm out in nature, out in my garden, when I'm witnessing the perfection of the natural world. I am most complete in the present slow moments with my daughters and my partner and our little family in the most simple of circumstances. So how about you? When do you feel most complete? Think about that. So what I want to do now is give you a few quick tips. And if you're like, I don't know when I felt complete, great, because I'm about to give you some tips that are going to help. So the first thing is that you can define the time frame for which you'd like to feel complete. Okay. So while it is truly impossible, I think, to be complete while we are still living life, I think you can find a sense of completeness when it comes to a day or a season or a project. Okay. So if you're looking to feel complete, if you can first determine for which time frame you are referring, that's going to be really helpful. Okay. So for example, what could I do today to feel complete? This is like a much easier question to answer and take action on than wondering what it feels like to be complete, period, in your life, right? The second is to understand what complete really means to you. Are you looking for closure? Are you looking for relief? Are you looking for inner peace? When we define what the underlying desire is on our quest to feel complete, we can then more easily gift ourselves the results that we're truly seeking, okay? And then also, I want you to celebrate yourself along the journey. Maybe the project isn't fully wrapped up or the relationship isn't fully behind you, but can you look at the parts of the circumstance that you can acknowledge some closure, okay? So practicing gratitude and practicing self-celebration allows us to find completeness while we're still moving in the direction of where we want to go. All right? So, let's practice feeling more complete together with some exercises straight from Self Care Society classes. As always, I'll pause to give you a moment to think, but feel free to stop the recording if you need more time to ponder or write. You'll also hear inspiring examples from our live classes too. You can join us for a full schedule of live and on demand classes at selfcaresociety.co. All right. So we have 5 exercises that we're going to walk through today. And you can do these in a journal or you can just simply listen. But they should be really powerful in terms of sort of understanding and touching base with our own versions of completeness. So our first one is called In the Final Weeks of Winter. And again, if it's not the final weeks of winter for you, that's okay. It's probably the final weeks of something, whether that's a season or a chapter or whatever it is. So I want you to use the prompt in the final weeks of winter or whatever season, as I said, to imagine how you'd like to spend these last days of the season. Okay. So, for example, for me, I said, in the final weeks of winter, I'll lean into restful energy and do my best to take full permission to go slow, be inward, and find the balance between gratitude for slowness and eagerness for spring. The weather here feels like spring, so I can see it as a beautiful transition time. Going slow while emerging into the sunshine and warmth, and so on. Okay. So take a moment here to think about how you want to spend, how you want to experience the final weeks of the winter or whatever season you're navigating. All right, Caitlin says, in the final weeks of winter, I'll nurture the growth I've had this season as I prepare to bloom. I'll be gentle with my mind, body, and spirit. I'll feed my soul with cozy connections with friends and family. I'll reflect on Q1 to inspire my Q2 goals. Beautiful, Caitlin. Love that. So our next exercise is a gratitude exercise. It's called the winter gratitude. Again, whatever season of gratitude you're in. So what are you grateful for that you experienced during the winter season? So if you are looking at winter, we're talking like December 21st to March 20th. Okay. So you're going to write a thank you statements. So for example, I said, thank you for 1 year of my daughter, Billy. What a gift. Thank you for the gift of leading you year and the amazing souls who joined us. Thank you for clearing so much space in our home. Okay, so now's your chance to just lean into that gratitude. What are you feeling? What can you be thankful for? Annie says, thank you for regaining, enjoying movement and working out and feeling the effect it has on my energy, mood, momentum for the day, rather than focusing on its impact on my appearance. Mandy says, thank you for snowshoeing and ice hiking and all the winter activities that carried me through the winter blues. Wow, it's awesome. Diana says, I am grateful for these months of quiet and rest. I struggled at times with this odd, slow space of downtime, but I'm grateful for working through this and acknowledging the immense value to my mind, body, and spirit. Yes, beautiful. So our next exercise is an intentionality exercise called Final Winter Commitments. Okay, so I want you to think about 3 things that you'd like to get done in the final weeks of winter or whatever season you're in, of course. And these could be your usual day-to-day tasks or just some additional things that represent the winter season of rest and reflection and stillness. Okay, so my example, I said, I would love to just really get back into my consistent meditation and journaling practice. I would love to plan a transition ritual of some type to do this weekend, really like transitioning from the season of rest into this kind of blooming season. And I want to embrace the slower season and have a less scheduled calendar and really clarify what feels good this season and how I get to bring what felt good this season, and how I get to bring that into the next season. Okay. So for you, if you think about three things or more or less is fine, of course. What do you want to complete? What do you want to experience in these final days? Okay. What are your final intentions? Right, Ash says, close on my new home. That is huge. Consistent sleep routine, waking up at 5 a.m. and taking beautiful walks outside, enjoying the last of the snow. Caitlin says, I want to prioritize an unplugged hour in my schedule every day. I want daily passion planning and to develop my Excel goal tracker. And 3, I want to embrace daily movement and listen to my body. Amazing goals. I love it. So we're going to do an affirmation exercise next called affirmations of completeness. Okay. So what do you need to hear or remember in the final weeks of winter? Who do you want to be this week? I want you to write yourself an affirmation motto for the 7 days ahead. Okay. So my example, I said, I am allowed to rest and embrace the spaciousness in front of me. I can carry the slow and easy energy into the spring. I get to choose how I live my life. I take the time to pause and reflect, knowing it is where my wisdom lies. All right. So what do you need to hear? Can you write yourself an affirmation? Can you rewrite whatever script is in your mind? Can you take with you whatever reminders of your character that might really help you in this sort of completion of a season? Jess says, I am a thoughtful partner. I find joy everywhere. In tough moments, I pause and focus on gratitude. I have enough time. The work will get done. Annie says, I am my wisest guide. It all starts with me and my own knowing. Wow. Those are really important reminders that I think all of us can always benefit to hear. So thank you so much. Now, our final exercise is a manifestation exercise. It's a favorite of mine, and it's a future journal entry. And we're going to do this from the last day of winter. So I want you to write a future journal entry or think of a future journal entry. And the date would be Sunday, March 19th, when I'm filming this, but maybe not Sunday for you. But I think March 19th would be the day, no matter the year. The last day of winter. Okay, so I want you to reflect on your final week and how you're feeling going into spring. Okay, so you get to choose how this week goes. What would you experience? Okay, and again, whenever you're listening to this or watching this, just sub in sort of the end of the week ahead. Okay, just journal entry from kind of the end of the week ahead or the end of whatever season you feel is coming to a completion. Okay, so for example, I said, Sunday, March 19th, 2023. I am so excited to be going into spring, but I'm proud of the way that I've honored winter. I spent the last week really leaning into spaciousness, rest, and flow. It helps that I'm also in the winter season of my cycle, so rest was on the menu big time. While also following it felt great, like being in the sunshine and tending to the garden. I took the time to set some spring intentions, so I'm feeling really great going into this season, and so on. Okay, so I want you to think about this before we wrap up. How do you hope to be closing out this chapter? What would you hope to be saying and experiencing? Beautiful job. All right. So we have a video share or an audio share if you're listening from Jess.
Sunday, March 19th. So it's my partner's birthday this weekend. I'm starting my day cozied up in the Sprinter van that we rented this weekend for hiking in Virginia. I was worried about the temperature, the drive, the conditions, but it's all been so wonderful. What a gorgeous getaway. Ryan was so psyched and surprised. We are cuddling up this morning, and then we will get another great hike in. It's such a good reminder that my intentions are a great guide. My birthday ideas are enough.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jess. I always love to hear from you. And to everyone here, I encourage you to find ways to find this completeness while you continue to navigate your personal journey towards all you desire. Can you be complete in this moment right here? Can you feel complete in what you accomplished today? Where are all the mini moments of completeness that you can call in? You deserve to feel peace and fulfillment and contentment in your life, no matter what you're juggling. And I really hope that this session got you just a little bit closer to that experience. Thank you so much for joining me today on your morning mindset practice. I hope you're feeling more complete, and I'd love to have you join us at selfcaresociety.co for a live or on-demand class so you can stay consistent with your self-care, connect with other like-minded people, and continue filling your cup so you can overflow onto the world. We need you. I'll see you next time.